Hello, welcome to All Things Chadwick. As my great aunt used to say, Dad, burn it. I almost forgot this again. I am going to do my intro, my official intro, in a minute. But I want to tell you first, I'm making chili today. So, I had started and I thought, damn it, I was going to record the next time I cook. So I grabbed my little tripod, my big tripod is at my office, and started. So let me tell you first. I have 2 pounds of ground beef, and it's like 80-20 or something. It's not lean. But when I defrosted it, I did drain some of the fat off of it. But I have just put 2 pounds of ground beef in my big Le Creuset or whatever it is. And we're going to start from there. And I'm going to just salt this lightly. I mean, it would actually need about a teaspoon, but I'm going to salt and season along the way. So I'm going to put a little salt and a little bit of pepper on this while it browns. And then we're going to grab an onion and lots of other things in a few minutes. But let me just stop right here since I got off track and do my intro. And then we'll get back to this browning the ground beef on medium. So, hello everyone. My little hula girl is in the window, slightly hula-ing. The sun has gone that way for now. So, eggs, if anybody needs eggs and lives nearby. Welcome to All Things Chadwick. Salutations. It is about 2:30 on a Friday afternoon, and I thought I would go ahead and make some chili just for us to snack on off and on throughout the weekend, first of the week, whatever. So this is a kind of just a basic chili that I've been making for years. It's really yummy. I put pasta in my chili, so if you don't like pasta in your chili, just click off or hang on for maybe some laughs and the fun. So we're gonna make chili. As you already know, the ground beef is on, and I'm gonna grab the onion. Hang on. Folks, I don't know if I'm the only one, but I absolutely detest peeling a new onion. It never works well for me. I think I've probably said that before on this channel. Oh, if I look in the fridge and there's no onion in the little onion holder or whatever, I'm like, oh, just forget it. I'm not even cooking today. So if that's you, let me know down below if you know a trick or something, because it seems like the other people in this household can grab an onion and they can just like say, oh gosh, it was a good day at work today, and da-da-da-da-da, and say 3 words and they're finished and this whole thing is peeled. And I know that literally probably took me less than 30 seconds, but in my mind, that is such a struggle. Why is that such a struggle for me? Let me get this in the trash and wipe off my cutting board. There's onion juice, which I guess that's really delish, and I'm actually going to use this whole onion. And I want to chop it up pretty fine. I know you guys have seen people do onion. Oh, and look, it has a root in it. I have never in my life, I don't know. That side doesn't, it's green. It has a little green. Does that mean something? Should I do something? I don't know. I think it's fine. Anyway, so we're gonna use the whole onion, but not that little root part. So I'm gonna take half an onion and I'm just gonna go 1, 2, 3, all the way across, turn it sideways, and just kind of give it a little, not too fine of a chop, definitely not a dice, but just chop it up. And that part, since it was like close to the holding it all together, I'm gonna throw that one little yellow piece away, but these others will be just fine. So there's half. And let's do this half the very same way. I hope everyone is in the holly jolly mood, and if you're not, I'm sorry. If you know me personally, can contact me. We can drink tea and talk about something besides the holidays. I know that the holidays are not always chipper and fun and oh my gosh, Merry Christmas at every turn. But for those of you who are, I hope it's going well. Let's get these onions in the pot. you can see that this ground beef definitely did not need any olive oil. Now, if I was using very lean ground beef, I would have put maybe a couple of tablespoons of EVOO in the bottom, but this definitely did not require that. So let me get out a different instrument. See if that will work. I think I've let it cook to the point that it's not gonna scramble up as easy, but I think that's doing it. Just breaking it up a little bit. You can do it as fine or as chunky as you want. And you know, same people make the real deal with their actual steak or chunks of ribeye or whatever. But that actually broke it up, excuse me, just like I wanted it to. So that it will be ready to marry with these onions and everything else that's gonna be happening. Okay, now I'll set that to the side, go back to this, and let me grab my onions. One whole onion going in. And it's a pretty big onion, actually. This is, you know, you can make a single batch with 1 pound of ground beef, half an onion, 1 can of this, 1 can of that, you know. But I'm making a pretty big bowl because I have big eaters. Let me spread that onion out just a little bit. And then I'm gonna salt it really good. I am out of pink Himalayan salt. So I'm just using good old-fashioned Morton's. The little girl in the rain and the salt with the umbrella. Salting those onions pretty good. And I like to season as I go, so I'm gonna go ahead and put another layer of pepper on those too. And again, this is on medium. On the stove, it's on medium, so a 5 out of 10. Stir that in and let those onions start to cook down. And I do want to let those cook for a minute, even though this chili is going to simmer for a long time. I just want that beef all alone to be able to soak up some of that good old onion flavor. So let's let that go for about 5 minutes, and I'll show you where I'm coming from here. I think I've shown this to you guys before. In 1998, I bought this old cookbook. It's from the Hardyville Union Church. I have no idea where that is. And I have used this chili recipe kinda sorta for, well, 98, 2008, 2018, 25 years. Hamburger meat. Now it calls for a chili stick. I know you can still buy chili sticks, but I do not use a chili stick. What I use is 3 tablespoons or so of chili powder. 1 large onion, tomatoes, water, tomato juice. I do not use. I do put pasta in it, but I will use like elbow pasta rather than spaghetti. Chili beans. It's really simple, and I do put Worcestershire garlic powder and a little bit of just a dash of sugar in this too. So this is kind of the base, but I wrote in my extra little, if you want to screenshot that or something, I wrote in my extra little additives years ago. So that's where the basic recipe comes from. And gosh, I have so many of my own. I'll show you just for a minute while these onions are doing their thing, of my own recipes, like taped in here and written in here. Like it's I really cherish this recipe book almost as much as I cherish like photo albums or things like that. I'm not old school about everything, but some things I am. So there are lots of things in here. Let's get back to this chili. How do you like this setup, folks? The primary reason for this is because, like I said, my big tripod that I usually sit at a different angle is at my office. And so this is the little tripod, and it just gets to sit on the stove with us. So this is already smelling really good. And you can tell that those onions are already getting the heat because they're getting just a tiny bit translucent. It's only been like 5 or 6 minutes or so. And so the next thing I'm gonna do is open a few cans. Hang on. Now the beans in this, not so important. I got store brand beans. These are from Food Lion chili beans, which are just pinto beans in a very, very mild chili sauce. The tomatoes, yes. Now we do have tomatoes out of the garden, and I may, if I feel like we need it, grab a jar where we have canned about 30 quarts of tomatoes. But I love these San Marzano Cento tomatoes from Italy. So peeled tomatoes, I'm gonna open and put 2 of those in there. As you can see, the onions are translucent and yummy looking. So we're going to go with tomatoes first. Peeled tomatoes number 1. Ooh, yummy, yummy. I'm gonna keep that because I'm gonna rinse it out in a minute. And peeled tomatoes number 2. And I'm gonna rinse both of these cans out with hot water. There's about half a cup of liquid in each where I've washed all that yummy tomato goodness out of each of these. And the recipe in the book I showed you called for 1 to 1.5 cups of water. So we've just put in about a cup. And I won't intentionally break those tomatoes up, but you know, if they get broken up as I'm kind of mushing and mashing around, it's fine because they're gonna simmer and come apart anyway, so. Isn't that looking divine? Oh, so schwelt in the pot. That looks great. And let's go with beans. I am gonna chop 2 of those in half. And we're gonna go with our beans with the juice. Chili beans in mild chili sauce. I can't say I've ever smelled that. It smells like legumes and maybe very mild chili smell. So both of those. So there we go with the 4 canned items. 2 big cans of tomatoes and 2 regular sized cans of beans. Why do I repeat the ingredients over and over? I'm sure if I were watching this, I would be like, oh my God, please, already we know, you've told us 75 times. And my phone just went dead. I don't know. I think it's been years since I let my phone go down that low. But anyway, so there we go with the primary things. Now let me get the few additives and I'll be back. And I think I've told you all before, we dry our own garlic out of the garden. So I'm gonna do just about a half a teaspoon of garlic. It's pretty potent. And several splashes of Worcestershire. So just a nice hefty blum of that. And last but not least, less than a teaspoon of sugar. And we're gonna stir all that in. And I know some of you are thinking, wait, what about the chili powder? Well, it's right here, about 3 nice tablespoons of chili powder. So let's get that stirred in. It'll change our color slightly and certainly add all of those flavors we want for the chili. So now I'm gonna walk away and let that go for about 10 minutes and then we'll decide about water and the pasta. And eventually we can taste this for a little more salt too, because I have a feeling it's gonna need about probably, you know, another teaspoon or so of salt and a little more pepper. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, delicious folks. This kind chili. Did you hear me say delicious folks? Hey kind folks, it's delicious chili. I am not drinking much vodka. Anyway, I am going to add 1 cup of hot water and 1 nice full cup of elbow pasta. A little tiny elbow pasta is all I want. Now you can add 2 cups if you want it to be very, very thick with pasta. And I like a thicker chili. I don't want a real watery chili. And I think a cup will, with as much water that's in here, that will be perfect. And I'm also going to add about another teaspoon of salt. So we're gonna go with just good old Morton salt here, about another teaspoon. And another nice shick of black pepper. And as I'm doing this, I'll look over and guess what I see? My pink Himalayan salt that I thought we were out of. Oh, jeez. Anyway. This smells divine. It looks divine. I have never put green pepper or bell pepper in my chili, but you know, there's so many things you can put in here. Some people like to put a little peanut butter. Some people like to put a little dark chocolate, but I'm just kind of old school and keep it simple. Chili. If you want to make it spicy, you know, slice you up some chili, actual chilies or jalapenos or something. But what I'm gonna do now is keep that on medium for about 30 minutes uncovered, and then I'm gonna put the lid on it and bring it down to a simmer and just let it cook until I turn it off later tonight. Okay folks, we have a boil, and you can tell that it's reducing just a little bit from looking at the sides. Anyway, let me stir this, make sure that we don't have anything sticking on the bottom, and so far so good. And we have plenty of juice, and that pasta is cooking. So I'm gonna take this down from a 5 to a low and just cover this and let it simmer until it has simmered away. I felt a little piece of pasta or something stuck right there, so let me check everywhere else and just make sure. Scoop, 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 scoop. It looks delish. So I'm gonna give it a taste and see what I think. Boom. Here we go. And it is yummy. I'm gonna stick it back in there. So I'm gonna put the lid on this and let it go, and I'll see you in a little while if I remember to record the end. Okay folks, the sun is going down. This is hot. Very hot. Let me get out my spoon. Where's my spoon? Here it is. I did put a little more pepper on this a little bit ago. You could put a little bit of oregano or thyme in this if you wanted to be, you know, if you need those flavors in here. Make sure nothing's sticking, and it feels pretty smooth to me. That pasta is cooked. It looks divine. I'm actually probably gonna just turn it up for about 5 minutes on about 5 or 6 again and get it a little bit bubbly, and then turn it off, cover it, and leave it until later tonight and tomorrow. We're gonna serve this with sour cream, cheddar cheese, and what else did I say, Chai? Saltine. And saltine crackers. You have to have saltine crackers. Okay folks, a few hours have gone by. This chili looks absolutely perfect and tastes perfect. So I'm gonna cup up a little bowl, even though we're not all ready to eat yet, and let's see what's gonna happen. So a little cup here, and on top of that cup, I am going to put a little bit of sour cream, and just a little bit of, since this is just a snack portion, a little bit of cheddar cheese. And I just opened a fresh sleeve of saltine crackers. So let's give this a taste test. So the first thing I'm going to do is just kind of stir this around a little bit, because this chili is hot and that sour cream will cool it off just a bit. Looks yummy. Now when I was a kid, and even like last month, I love to crumble up my saltines, but actually what I'm gonna do today is I'm just gonna pile me up some on here, like this, and give it a bite. So here goes nothing. My great aunt that used to say, Dad, burn it, also used to say, Jesus H, never mind. It's delicious, absolutely delicious. Love you guys, thanks for watching. I couldn't get that kiss out because I had too much chili in my mouth. Bye. Plus, I'll go ahead and tell you, as I clean out my teeth, the real reason I use that little cup is because I grabbed this bowl out of the pantry, out of the counter, and it's a berry bowl. Wouldn't that have been cute on video to put chili in that?